What is going on, everybody? It's Derrick.
And it's Doug. What's up?
Welcome to episode 52.
Can you imagine that?
1 year. I forgot to get something for it.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, oh, because it was last week. Facebook was down.
Yeah.
And that was annoying. Like, I've seen people going, oh no, whatever will anybody ever do? Facebook is down. It's like,
normally that doesn't bother me.
well, it's like, okay, I understand that, haha, it's funny, but there are actually people, like, just beyond us who do live streams every Saturday.
No, only affects us.
But it's like, there are people who run a business on Facebook, this Facebook being up is part of their business.
Yeah.
They haven't got to the point where they can get a website and everything and all that. So it's like, okay, well, it's funny to go, haha, I guess you can't post your pictures at avocado toast. But it's like,
I dig it.
maybe we don't be laughing about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was down, but we figured it out and recorded it. Last week, I felt like last week's podcast might have been a little weak.
Oh, I mean, the fact that we didn't have any feedback and things like that.
Yeah. Do anything fun this week?
Not really.
I ended up picking up the new Mario Rabbids game.
How do you like it?
It is good. It is tough.
Right.
Because they introduce enemies like almost back to back to back. So
Right.
you have regular guys who, like regular Rabbids who just fire guns at you, and then you've got Rabbids that have springs on their feet so they can jump farther, and they've got the smashing Rabbids,
Right.
which you shoot them, they run 4 squares trying to get to you so they can smash you. Then they take their turn. So it's like, you shoot them, they run towards you. Someone else shoots them, they run towards them. So they're aiming for whoever is
shooting them.
Aggroing them. Pulling aggro. And then they take their turn.
Huh.
So it's like they get to move like 8 squares and potentially attack twice.
Right.
So it's an interesting challenge, but the movement aspect of the game is amazing because you can dash through one person,
right,
and do 20 points of damage or whatever. Then team jump, which means you move on top of one of your teammates,
right,
and they basically like help you jump farther. Then Mario, I know Mario for sure, can like jump and land on one person and doing like 50 points of damage.
Nice.
So you're doing 70 points of damage, then you have your attack. You still have your attack and your special you can do.
Huh.
So you can attack and then set yourself into Overwatch mode,
right,
from XCOM, and then anytime they move, you're doing damage to them. So
Daniel's watching.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So then it's like, okay, cool. So you're having to kind of constantly focus on, okay, where do I want to dash through? Who do I want to jump on? Who do I want to shoot? And then Overwatch, can I manipulate that?
Is there a multiplayer aspect to it?
There is. There's a slight multiplayer aspect. It's not like strong multiplayer. It's like 4 characters, so each person controls 2.
Okay.
My only complaint is that your party can only consist of 3 people.
One has to be Mario.
One has to be Mario, and one has to be a Rabbid. And so you're limited. You can only have Peach, Luigi, or Yoshi as non-Rabbid players. And then you've got the Rabbid Peach, Rabbid Yoshi, Rabbid Luigi, and everything, and Toad.
Huh.
So it's good. I am enjoying it. I just made it through the first world and everything.
Right.
Now I'm just going back through it and trying to do a couple of the challenges and unlocking, coin grinding, because you can unlock stronger weapons,
right,
and then go do missions previous, so you're doing like 100 damage.
So now you can get more stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something that's been going on this week is James from the Film Slate podcast has got a Switch.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say how he got the Switch, but whatchamacallit, he's been playing through Legend of Zelda, and so that him going back through and talking about his experiences, just like how new he is, makes you want to go back and play through Master Mode.
I've thought about it. I recently seen the cell shade glitch. Have you seen that?
No.
There's like a special area, there's a glitch area on the bridge where you can climb up and there's a little notch in it.
Right.
And for some reason, if you stand in that little groove, you can turn the camera and it removes the cell shading.
How does it look?
it looks really good, but
Huh.
it's not permanent.
All right.
It's like only like that viewpoint, so as soon as you step away, cell shade comes back.
Okay.
So there's a big movement of like, hey, Nintendo, clearly like it's either something coming off of the camera view or something going onto the camera view that removes the cell shade. We would like the option to be able to turn that off.
Yeah.
So that way everything looks a little less cartoony and more gritty and real.
So I don't want the gritty and real.
Well, it actually looks really good.
Okay. I'll have to see
It
some
looks
pictures.
like an action thing. It looks really good, like Ocarina of Time good.
Well, I mean, Ocarina of Time.
You know what I mean, though. Like a little less cartoony, more realistic.
Okay, so like Twilight Princess.
Similar, yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, yes. So yeah, that's really all I did this week. Been living in limbo, waiting for Destiny.
Yes. I finally got my pre-order.
Good.
However, I got it physical.
Yeah,
So,
your
and I
mistake.
work on the 6th.
Mm,
So what I'm gonna have to do is go to the midnight premiere.
Yep.
Get the game, download it, go to bed, wake up. So I work 12 hours.
oh my god. And you'll be at home going,
And then I'll come home and be able to play it because then I have a day off.
nice.
So I'm pretty much gonna have to be like, okay, I need to get everything that I need to do done on Tuesday.
Cats, feed yourself. Huh?
No, it means I need to go change the oil in my car
Ah, yeah.
because there's nothing. Like, I had to go get my tags renewed for my car,
Mm-hmm.
and so I still need to put those on because I was like, oh, I need to, clean up the license plates so I can stick them on, and then it
Stick them
started
on
raining like cats and dogs.
Oh my god, yeah, it's been raining for like the past 24 hours.
There's nothing quite as fun as driving home after a 12-hour shift, exhausted,
In the rain.
in the rain, in the dark, with everything glaring around. Oh, hey, fun story. I almost got mugged last night.
Oh,
I had to stop and get rent. And so I stopped at the ATM and get rent out.
okay.
So that way, I'm not at work with over $100 worth of cash,
Yeah.
either in my backpack or on my
On your
person.
person. So you wouldn't get mugged.
Yeah. Well, I pull around the bank. My bank is not. I mean, I don't live in the best neighborhood, but it's not bad.
I've been to your place. It's not the best neighborhood.
No. So I pull around the bank. I see, like, as I'm pulling up towards the bank. So my bank's on a corner.
Okay.
There's a building, the, the ATM, like, drive-through alley,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bank. You turn down a street, go up behind the bank, turn there, and then you go down the alley. So you make, like, a U to get back on the main street
Yeah.
through the 24-hour, like,
Mhm.
ATMs. As I'm pulling up the first side to go behind the bank, I see someone walk behind the bank. All right, I mean, it's not suspicious, not really.
Now, what time was this?
Like 11:30 at night.
Okay.
So then I turn, and this person's not moving fast. They're gone. So I'm like, okay, they should be in front of me, or at the ATM. There's a building there that is right behind the bank.
Yeah.
I should be able to see this person. So I'm like, something doesn't feel right. So I just pull on through the ATM. As I pull in, I look in my rearview mirror. Someone walks out from behind the bank. I'm like, oh, okay. Because here's the thing. I mean, granted, if I had a normal car, I could roll my window down and just reach out, do all the cash, do all that.
But because your window is that you have to.
I either have to stop the car and turn it off, and then step out and close my door, because obviously I don't want anyone to get in the car behind me,
Yeah.
or leave it running
Yeah. No.
and step out of the car and leave my door open, because why would I leave my car and my door closed?
Yeah. No.
Even though I can just push my window through.
Wow.
So it's like, I almost got mugged. I mean, I couldn't say 100% for sure
But-
that person would have mugged me, but
They weren't acting not shady.
yeah. So I was like, well, I'm sure if I explain that, someone will be like, oh, yeah, thank you for not getting mugged.
Did you call the bank later and let them know?
No.
Okay. Because they might have had security camera.
Yeah, but I also live in the, like, everyone looks shady at 11:30 at night in the rain.
True.
I probably look shady.
True.
If he wasn't on the camera, I'm the only one that looks shady because I drive behind the bank and then stop for a second and then just drive through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty spooky.
Spoopy.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't have a good story for that. Mostly,
like, why don't I carry my 45 in the car?
yeah, and I pulled out my gun. No, but this week was pretty boring. I mean, caught up on Game of Thrones stuff.
I'm waiting for next month when it comes on Google Play, so I can watch it.
Yeah,
And I can turn to my fiance and be like, either be awake when I watch it,
or don't complain.
or don't complain when I spoil things for him.
Yeah, I know that feel.
Because my favorite is like casually getting My Hero Academia spoilers, and I'm just like, oh, did you know this happened?
No, I hadn't watched
do
it
now.
yet. I
Thank
not
you.
watched it yet.
Yeah.
We watched this. We watched My Hero Academia this morning.
Nice.
It was good. Excited to where they're going, the direction they're going with it.
Yeah.
I also watched My Hero Knights and Magic.
How'd you like it?
Dude, it's really good.
They skip all the faff.
Yeah, they really do. They're like, and then 3 months later, he's done learning, and it's like, thank you. I don't want an episode and a half dedicated to him learning.
Yeah.
It's like, and he makes, and then they made a new mech, and it's like, thank you for not showing that.
It's like whatchamacallit, Kung Power to the Fist. And then some stuff happened.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to see that. I just want to see mechs and monsters and magic.
Yeah.
So I watched that. Watched Once Upon a Time. Fully caught up on that.
Nice.
When the new season starts, I'm ready for it.
Are they doing season 7?
Season 7. Yep.
Ugh.
Half the original cast is gone though, so I'm interested to see where it's going. I'm excited, but I'm not at the same time.
Yeah, I need to watch season 6.
It's good. It gets okay. I will say it gets a little long on the tooth. You get the whole carryover from season 5 of like, oh my God, Regina and Zelina, calm down, stop fighting every time you see each other.
It's like Nanako from Persona 4, the animation. No fighting.
Yeah, it's like admit it. You know it's true every time that she's present. They're like, you can't do this because you're just evil, and it's like, hey Regina, you're evil too. One point. Yeah, not to spoil anything, but you were kind of a jerk.
Yeah, especially first season.
Yeah.
Or it's like closer to second season too.
And then there's the whole Belle, Mr. Gold thing where you're like,
let's not spoil that.
well, no, you're like,
will they? Won't they? Will they? Won't they?
We all know they're in a rough, they're in a rough relationship.
Yeah.
But there's something I love, and they've done it previously, where they have that nice moment of innocence between Belle and Mr. Gold.
Yeah.
Where they dance to the Beauty and the Beast suite.
But then you know, like, something bad's gonna happen that's gonna undo all that character progression.
Yeah. It's like, hey, well, you met this new villain? It's like,
hey, have you met this new villain who we've never mentioned before, yet the characters have a history with, and now, part of their soul too? Yeah.
Yeah, right? Or they're like, remember this character? Where have they been in Storybrooke the entire time? Places.
Sort of like Ruby.
She just disappeared.
Yeah.
And she was never heard from again.
Yeah.
Well, they introduced Aladdin. I don't think it's a spoiler to say they introduced Aladdin.
Right.
Where have you been? Been here in Storybrooke the whole time. Just no one never noticed. It's like...
Well, also there was another show, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, that Aladdin showed up.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It wasn't a long series.
Clearly, because I don't remember. Because then, in one of the scenes, they show Wonderland. And I was like, this was...
Yeah.
Not really part of the show, like, at all.
Yeah, they introduced Wonderland and Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Like, Jafar was there.
Dude, Jafar?
Yeah.
He's played by, what is it, Omar Eds?
Sure.
He's the guy who plays Carlos from Resident Evil.
Okay, yeah. He was also one of the Magi.
He was also the Magi and the Mummy.
Yeah.
It's like, do we need a vaguely ethnic man who can have a mustache and goatee to look cool? He can sometimes look sinister, but most of the time he just looks like a cool guy. We only have one of those guys around here.
Do we have... Alright, this is going to sound awful. Do we have a mostly non-threatening looking Middle Eastern dude? Because
okay, you're right.
In TV shows, there's two
flavors.
Types.
Yeah.
It's like evil and menacing, or like your BFF.
Yeah, and I think I get what you're saying. And I know that's true within Hollywood. It's like, well, I mean,
You only have like Idris Elba,
yeah,
he's in everything these days.
yeah, which I'm okay with.
I'm
Idris
okay,
Elba
except
is-
he's in the Dark Tower, which I hear did not do well. Hey Sam.
I heard that as well.
Yeah.
Hey, next week it comes out. Are you gonna go see it?
Yes. I will lay down the ultimatum to Kelly. Either we go see it this week,
Or I'm going alone.
or I'm going by myself, or going with you,
Yeah.
or I know a bunch of people from work want to go see it. We're all going to go see it because we work like next to the theater.
Nice.
So, pretty much the law will be
You get first dibs.
you get first
After
dibs.
you pass up on it, anybody else has free game.
We will go see it Tuesday before Destiny comes out.
Yeah, because once Destiny comes out,
I will not be responsible for waking you up to remind you that we're going out. And if you are still asleep by X time, I will be gone.
I will be at the movie theater if you need me. I will not be answering my phone, however,
Yes. And then I will come home.
and I will tell you all about it and spoil it for you.
Exactly. I will tell you about it and make sure I'm not awake alone at night. Hey, are you sleeping?
Not anymore. You just you shot me in the face with a paintball.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're awake. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go move on to the YouTube roundup.
Yes.
We're doing things slightly different this week. But YouTube roundup is the same
Yes.
as always. I had Adam Ruins Everything corrects itself.
Yes.
Okay,
I watched that.
you're familiar with the Adam Ruins Everything series, like Adam Ruins School, Adam Ruins Summer Vacation.
Yeah.
This episode took them time to go over some big corrections.
Yeah.
They made mistakes, but they're like, you should be mad. It's ruining your credibility that you're wrong. And he goes, no, it helps build our credibility because we're willing to admit
We made a
were
mistake.
wrong. We made a mistake.
Yeah, I watched that and I think
I like that show.
yeah, I think it kind of reminds people that you need to be open to criticism and getting your mistakes worked through. Like last night, I kind of made a mistake at work.
Okay.
One of the administrators called and said one of the doctors, their badge didn't work. And so they're like, can they park right in front of the building, and they'll come and grab their car in a couple hours. Yes, that's fine. Okay, how are we gonna fix his badge? Go ahead and email the boss, so and so,
Mm-hmm.
and we can work on it Monday. Because all weekend we don't work on badges. All weekend.
Okay.
So I thought that was the most appropriate course of action of, I'm not going to say, yes, please, let me bend over backwards for a
One
doctor.
person.
Because doctors do that. They are the fighter pilots of the hospital.
Okay.
That they believe that they are God's gift to the world.
I can't think of the joke anymore. I had it and I lost
The
it.
difference between God and a doctor is God doesn't think he's a doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so apparently that was one of the administrators.
So that was what it was.
Yeah.
How do you know you have a jet fighter at your party?
Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So she called the boss, who I said to email, and was like, I didn't find his answer acceptable. I just really wanted, I really wanted the opportunity to be like, lady, I would give that for anybody, whether that's environmental, whether that's an RN,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's my own grandma. You don't skip the line. You don't bend the rules.
Yeah.
But apparently that was a mistake. And so my boss was like, hey, did you say this? I'm like, one, I told her to email said boss. And yes, that is exactly what I said. Own up to my mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a mistake if you've done the right thing.
He's like, oh, just transfer it to the supervisor fund. So pretty much bend the rules.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I know for next time. But I gave what I believed the course of action was,
Yeah.
which was follow XYZ procedure.
Sometimes like it's best to say, hey, follow this procedure, but I'll, leave your contact information. I'll let you know if anything comes up. When I worked security, it was the same way. I was like, hey,
But then it's just like,
take the best course of action, immediately call the supervisor, then get back in touch with the person and go, yeah.
so I didn't even think anything was wrong with that course of action.
True
Because
enough.
they didn't identify themselves as the administrator, which is fine, because it doesn't change anything for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh well.
Okay, your first one was Springs by Ooh?
Yes, it's the genre of music is called witch house. It
Okay.
is like it's kind of like vaporwave, except for it.
Of course.
Yeah, which is kind of like a new retro wave.
Okay. You actually related to something I know.
Yeah, we can link it to that, but it's more has darker and it's more in a minor key, so
Okay.
it sounds more dark and brooding. Yeah,
Nice.
there's not much I can say about this thing because there's no lyrics.
Okay, so it's just like a song in a minor key, which is rarely done because minor keys are
Especially because the electronic music.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really fun.
nice. With Game of Thrones season 7 coming to an end, I watched both of my next ones are Game of Thrones themed. Binging with Babish, Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Have you ever watched that guy's?
I
stuff?
watched all of his videos the other day.
It is really good because he makes like
Dishes from...
movie stuff from TV and movies and makes it into dishes.
It kind of makes me want to get an induction of stove so I can do cooking videos like that.
Nice. But like he made like the blood pie, made lemon cakes.
Yeah. I kind of want to make lemon pie, blood cakes.
Right.
And I asked you and James that question of, if I were to get like a blood donation,
I think it would be creepy and weird.
hypothetically, could I draw my own blood and make a blood pie using my own blood?
I mean, theoretically, I guess you could.
I mean, I would like. Here's the thing: I wouldn't serve it to anybody else. But
still just weird.
what's the difference between that and pig's blood?
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah.
What is this big jar? Don't touch it.
What's this jar in the fridge? That's my blood.
Oh my! I'm blood doping now. I decided I want to play. I want to do the Tour de France.
But couldn't. All right, this is gonna turn right into like gross territory. Some people have problems, and they have anemia.
Yeah.
Can they not make the blood pie when they're at a good state, and when they suffer from anemia, eat the pie, and get all that iron stuff? And Sim says it may be taboo. So is human transmutation.
And we shouldn't tell anybody. Hey, just hi to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm Edward. Yeah, human transmutation. I've done it.
Yeah.
There was you seen that picture? It was like, oh yeah, we shouldn't tell anybody, but we've done human transmutation.
Yep. I agree. It is taboo, but I was just like, it's an interesting thought process because it asks the question: where's the line that we consider cannibalism?
I have a question like that, but I'll ask it in the post show.
Okay.
It was part of my Twitter today.
Okay.
Okay, your next one was Destiny 2's official live action trailer.
Yes, for the puppies.
Yes, for the puppies. I watched that this morning, and it
Was it the first time you watched it?
Yeah, I hadn't watched it. I have a tendency at work to not watch those links because I'm busy watching like Once Upon a Time or something.
At work?
Shh, not at work. Totally on my break, all approved breaks and everything.
How was your Mario Kart this week?
Actually, that's still on all of our breaks.
Nice.
We plan that, and it goes well. I take first place a lot.
Nice.
But the live action trailer was so good.
Yes.
I felt like Cade 6 was a little weird, out of place.
Here's why I think he's not weird anymore. Walk through. We're gonna stream some Destiny today. As a kind of way to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Walk by Cade in the tower. He'll say things like, "Psst, take me with you. I'm so bored." Cade 6 is having the time of his life.
True.
Because according to, I think according to the lore, he never really wanted to be the Hunter Vanguard. And so now he's just kind of stuck in the tower, just like, I'm so bored. He is Malcolm Reynolds.
True.
He wants to be out there slinging guns and just being awesome.
I aim to misbehave.
Exactly. That's Cade 6.
I love it. I'm excited for it.
Yes.
I'm gonna play as a Titan.
Nice.
I mean, I wish I was into Hunter. He's a knight. I wish I was into Hunter. One of my first characters was a Hunter. But
Right. Do you know what James is playing?
I don't know.
Because if he's playing Warlock, I might go Hunter. If he's playing Hunter, I might go Warlock.
Nice. Have to find out. But I'm for sure going Titan. Captain America, Shield Bash.
Yeah. Hey Sam, are you getting a Destiny? I know you're a gamer.
And are you getting it on PC? I may actually end up getting it on PC too.
I might get it on Xbox and PlayStation.
I was thinking about getting it on PlayStation because I have a friend that plays on PlayStation.
Plus, there's like an extra raid.
Yeah.
It's like stupid loot.
Stupid loot. Yeah. Okay.
And Saturdays are going to be our raid days.
Yes. After a podcast and everything.
Well, I mean, more like in the evening.
Yeah.
So that way James can join. Sam, if you're trying to decide and you do get it on Xbox,
let me know. Okay. Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, Jon and Daenerys. It's like mixing. It's like an edit mix,
right?
Or it's like they'll talk about one line, but it's funny. Even before they met, Jon and Daenerys had a lot of similar dialogue.
Oh yeah,
about each other.
Yes.
And so it was like edited together to show that with like this nice ethereal song in the background. And I was like,
I watched a video last night that Robert Baratheon predicted everything.
I haven't seen that yet. I want to watch it. I just hadn't yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I seen that and I was like, that's really cool. I like the edit mix on occasion where it's like showing that they have similar dialogue about each other.
Yeah.
Even before they met.
Yes.
So,
which, spoilers, hey, in season 7, Jon and Daenerys meet.
Yeah, well, that was happened last season.
No, it didn't.
Did it not? I
No.
thought it did.
No, she was on her way.
Ah, got it.
Don't argue with me. I've watched all the seasons.
To argue with
and
me.
read the books.
I haven't read the books yet.
I bought the book on Audible this week.
I
had a credit, and I'm like, I like reading it, but I can only read it in the morning when I'm going to work.
for the sunrise.
Yeah, like, you have to read it during the dark. You really do.
Yeah.
But I don't want to read it when I'm on my way home, because then I have, like, 12 hours by myself.
Yeah, all this stuff. I'm going to put, like, a red balloon in your car.
Nice.
No, you don't! Not today, Satan!
Yes.
You just imagine you're on the freeway and all of a sudden a red balloon drifts into your rearview mirror and you're like,
oh God, swerve.
That would be amazing, but it's like, I could kill someone.
Can we do that?
I will kill someone.
Can we do that during the screening of it? Should be like in the middle.
Here's a balloon for you. And pass it down to the next person. Like, I don't think I'm comfortable with you.
Just stand in one of the bathrooms, just in the corner, holding a balloon.
God, do you want to get arrested? I don't.
All right, just leave a balloon in the bathroom.
No, just have the balloon on a motor arm
in one of the stalls,
and it races in one of the stalls. And it's like you're just in there, and you're like, or like right in the mirror. Oh, there's not like a mirror, like a metal wall that you can see, or washing your hands. It's just in the mirror.
Who does that?
Anyway, you had Pokemon Sun and Moon big preview. Misty and Brock return.
Yes.
More importantly, the animation style has changed.
Well, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, the story is not essentially the same, but it's one of those like
I like that it changed, but I was like, I had not seen Sun and Moon yet.
Yeah, he goes back to Kanto for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you get some Bulbasaur back?
I don't know if he's gonna take him with him to Alola,
but I think he's gonna take a couple of his other types.
I think, if anything, it's going to be ones that have Alolan forms, so that way they can kind of better show them off. So that way they can be like, hey, kids, remember, like, you think Doug Trio has, like, awesome, like, blonde locks?
Fabio hair.
Yeah, Fabio hair. That wasn't the original Doug Trio.
Yeah. I'm interested. I love it. I'm probably going to catch up on it.
Yeah. Is it on Crunchyroll, you think?
Yeah, probably. But Misty and Brock returning is amazing. I like that.
Takshin Kasumi.
Yeah. You're well prepared.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Like, the Misty hasn't been on since the Togekiss episode.
Yes.
And Brock left right before Diamond and... No, he was in Diamond and Pearl.
He left
right before X and Y.
Yep.
I think so. I think that was right around that time. So he hasn't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
He went all through X and Y and then Sun and Moon.
I would like to see May and Max come back.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Or
even like Tracy.
I'd like to see Gary.
Yeah, we haven't seen Gary in a while.
Gary was never heard from.
Well, Gary's kind of like a professor now.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, which kind of makes no sense because like Ash is still like 10, and Gary and him were like the same age because they got Pokemon the same day. So it's like,
Gary also managed to get 10
Cheerleaders.
10 Poke badges.
yes, and cheerleaders and drive a car at 10.
Yeah. Like, what were you doing at 8 when you got cheerleaders for being 10?
Making Professor Oak a great grandpa.
It's gross. Okay, we have a couple headlines.
Because it's Gary Oak.
We have a couple headlines. We're just reading the headlines.
Yes. Well, the headlines the highlights we can go through.
Okay.
And discuss in depth. But like the headlines, just
I want to read the headlines, and then we'll go from there. I'll read both of them, and then we'll discuss.
Okay.
Okay, we got 2 of them. Violent games have no place at the Olympics, says IOC president. And Splatnet, the original Splatoon, is closing. Which one of those would you rather talk about?
The Olympics.
Okay, so Splatfest is going away. Okay, so IOC president, who's in charge of the Olympics, said violent games have no place.
Okay.
So that means like we're getting FIFA games at the Olympics. We're getting sports games at the Olympics.
Wait a minute.
Violent? Let me expound upon this. Looks like someone else joined us.
You're with.
Okay. Let me expound on it. Let me repeat that phrase and then expound.
Okay.
Violent games have no place at the Olympics, says IOC president.
Okay.
We are totally fine with the javelin throw, though. Which is literally spear tossing.
And boxing.
Yep. And wrestling and judo. Because those are different in the Olympics.
Why are we getting video games at the end?
I'm okay with it.
I mean, I'm okay with it intrinsically, but like, why?
Well, Japan. There's going to Japan, and Japan's like, hey, esports are sports. People, I wholeheartedly believe this. People train for it. People spend their lives. People make money training for it, just like an Olympian.
And make it its own thing
that we already do. But we already have tracks. We already have track competitions. We have football competitions and baseball competitions and wrestling competitions and judo competitions. So it's like we have competitions for everything. But the Olympics is where it's all held together.
But
for the world.
Here's what I think they should do: make the esports, just call it the esports festival. It lasts an entire week. Instead of like, you know how the Olympics almost forces countries that host it to build new arenas and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It would do better if this esports festival was in its entirely own entity. But here's the thing: instead of new facilities, yeah, you build facilities to house all your people, but it also helps bring the countries that host it into better networking ages. If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying, but I think I'm okay with it being in the Olympics. See, I'm absolutely 100% because they are not the traditional athletes, but they're athletes nonetheless.
Right, and I agree with you 100% on that. I just don't think that...
I don't think the world is ready for it, but I'm ready for it.
Yes.
Like
and that's why I believe there should be like an esports festival where
I disagree with that, and here's why.
Why is that?
Because then it will never be seen as anything more than just a game. But think about it, like people think esports now, which are still huge.
Right.
There's championships and everything, and people make millions of dollars. But people who play football or who watch football go, that's not a sport. But
yeah, but
have it
thing.
right next to the javelin throw and track. It's like, this is a sport. The world is ready for esports. The number of people watch esports the same as football. They watch these games religiously.
And that's why I think it would do well on its own, because then you could show, hey, Olympics, you know how because NBC owns your coverage, it's kind of crappy coverage? Here's the middle finger. Here's our own way to broadcast.
I get that, but the world needs to see it first.
And I think they will. If things like, oh, hey, There's some esports stuff on ESPN already.
It's not covered though. It's
Yeah.
not. It's like on ESPN like 7.
No, I was watching something last Sunday
Okay.
on actual ESPN. It was like Road to the Top or something like that.
Nice. I just think that it needs more exposure, and having it in the Olympics could be the kickoff point to where it could become its own thing. Because right now, there's not a committee who's going, yes, this game, yes, this game. But if you
I
curate
would
it,
disagree, because then you're going to get the views, and then there's going to be some, I don't want to say meathead, but there's going to be some exec who's like, oh yeah, that's because the Olympics that it draws that. It's not because it's gaming. It's because people turn on the channel and watch the Olympics and leave it on even if they're not watching it.
well, how many kids watch the Olympics? And this may be cliche. How many kids watch the Olympics and go, I want to do that?
Yeah.
Like,
And I agree.
the Olympics is pushed. We have Olympics on at work all the time. When last year, was it last year? Yeah. When it was in Rio and people were dying of dysentery.
And Zika.
Yeah, and Zika. People stopped in and watched sports that they normally don't. So if you have the esports hour on ESPN,
Oh, it would be a week-long
Well,
festival.
it's still the ESPN would go during that. You have to fit it in somewhere. There's not a season for it.
Yeah.
You don't have baseball with football because you're tearing your audience. So there's no season for it to fit in within the regular sports cycle.
Right.
So if you have it in the Olympics, people at my work who are not gamers would stop in and watch it and go, that's pretty cool. And it's on the Olympics. The Olympics on a level like legitimizes it to them.
But you need a couple things. You need the advertising of, hey, we're sending an American team to the Olympics that are keyboard warriors, so people need to pay attention.
Yeah, and I
so-
think
And that's why I think if they had an independent festival,
and they do.
but an independent, like, week-long...
They do. It's called like BlizzCon, QuakeCon.
Now, I'm talking independent of a developer company, and say, this is the esports, we have Overwatch, we have League of Legends, we have this,
it would
we
be
have that.
it would be difficult because
But
then
then
you'd
you
have
have-
to get developers to agree within itself. You'd have to get Blizzard to agree with Valve for Dota. You'd have to agree with
And that's the thing, there needs to be a bit of harmony when it comes to this gaming
yeah,
thing.
you just said it, harmony.
And here's the thing, you do have people who are sponsored go to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a reality of nature. That, okay, we are able to send 50 people to this esports Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them will have to be backed by Blizzard because they play Overwatch and StarCraft.
Yeah,
And just say, the developers sponsor some of the players to get there. And, you have some big names that are into esports. You have Terry Crews.
true.
And so if it was on its own...
I get what you're saying, but I'm just like, let's go back to the original article. Violent games have no place at the Olympics. We were straying too far into shouldn't even be in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And we both have different opinions. I think it should be. You think it shouldn't, and that's fine. What do you think about violent video games? What are they trying to say can't be there? So I'm assuming no Doom, no Quake.
Overwatch.
Is Overwatch violent though?
And that's where you have that line of, you're going...
'Cause
And this is why I make the argument that it shouldn't be in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have someone who doesn't understand that League of Legends, yeah, you kill other player heroes, but I wouldn't call that overly violent.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have some dude who knows his stuff about you can't, spear tackle in football, but knows squat about gaming.
True, but isn't it the same? Like, I watch football and go, I don't know anything about football. I know like nothing.
Yeah, I mean it's the same, but
I think what they're it almost seems what the IOC president is doing
right.
is basically saying, yes, you can have esports, you can't have anything violent. What does that leave?
Sports
You
games.
can have sports games. So it's like, cool, so you agree that we can have esports, but you basically boiled it down to you can just have digital football, digital baseball, digital hockey. So
And-
you're removing huge
And that's where you're
games.
gonna have like a weird part where you're gonna have two dudes standing on the podium. One was actually on the soccer pitch, and one was not. And they're standing up and they're like, "Oh, we both got a gold medal just because I'm better at hitting A than you're running down the
Yeah, but
pitch."
I get it. I'm just like, it seems like the IOC president is kind of like limiting it
Right.
just so that it's only sports
And,
games.
You know, and the strange part, I'm really glad we take both different sides of the spectrum.
So that way it's not just agreement all. Yeah.
But I will still say, I really would like to see a week-long festival of gaming.
That would be
And
neat.
esports.
Well, I mean,
and-
they have Twitch Fest and everything.
But that's a actual thing.
Yeah,
Like,
so is
I
the
mean,
fest.
Twitch Fest is all about Twitch. It's stream games on Twitch.
And the games on Twitch.
Right. But
Twitch,
you need
Twitch in and of itself, nothing.
Yeah.
It's the games that are played on Twitch,
something that's a week long of like Dota, League of Legends.
which is all on Twitch.
Yeah, but Twitch Fest is not. It's an on. If you are a gamer, you know what Twitch is. It needs to be on ESPN.
So if they put Twitch Fest on ESPN, you'd be okay.
No. Because it needs to be an ESPN event.
Well, if you get ESPN involved,
Right.
then you have people that are not. If you put it on ESPN, I'm fine with it.
Right.
But if you say if ESPN is hosting it, it's going to be being hosted by people that don't know what.
I mean, it's like watching Wimbledon on ESPN.
Well,
ESPN doesn't
no.
own Wimbledon.
ESPN is about they can do physical sports, but there's a different dynamic with esports. The commentating style is way different.
I will say this.
You need to be able to like with StarCraft, 2-player StarCraft.
Then
You need to be able to constantly switch back and forth and not just.
Then I ask this: why is poker on ESPN? It's not a physical sport.
Oh, I agree. I'm okay with poker being on ESPN.
Then we need to
But
have esports on ESPN too.
But the question is, the thought is like, you, with poker,
Right.
you can see everybody. They have it so they can see everyone's hand at the same time.
Right.
With StarCraft, you can see, unless you're an observer,
Right.
you need to have both sides of the field being visible. And there's a lot of transitioning back and forth because when you're watching one person, you're not watching another person.
Right.
So you need people who have already practiced,
And
who have
that's
already perfected that art, and say, hey, Husky StarCraft, using that as a really good example when he was doing his StarCraft stuff, of like, he knows how to talk about StarCraft.
Yeah. And
So
I think ESPN
hire
is
him.
good at knowing.
They would either have to outsource it to Twitch, and then it's Twitch, basically a Twitch Fest,
Right.
or they would have to hire so many commentators just to do it justice. But if they don't, it's just going to feel like they're doing it a half job.
And I think that's where ESPN has the capital in order to get Terry Crews to commentate some things.
But you still need them to get behind it. You
Yeah.
still need them to go, yes, we are going to, like, if they say, hey, here's a couple hours for esports,
Right.
that's them giving a couple hours. But to get them to actually invest in it, that means someone at the top has to understand what esports are.
They need to look at the monetary output of esports.
And television as a whole is just horrible about using internet media. Television executives are like, people aren't tuning into our shows live, and it's like, yeah, I'd really rather watch it on Hulu the day after.
Right.
You don't understand that, like, YouTube celebrities are just as big as television stars,
And I think
sometimes even bigger.
if you separate the esports from the Olympics, it does set up that it lays the groundwork for being able to say, welcome to the new era that YouTube celebrities, like you seen the video yesterday that the Game Grumps did the official Shovel Knight amiibo video.
Yeah, but that's within their ecosystem.
Right.
But do you see Walter Cronkite knowing who the Game Grumps are?
But here's the thing. ESPN already has some esports on it. They already have laid...
Just because they put ESPN on, esports on it.
I was watching
doesn't
the other
mean-
day and it was very entertaining.
Doesn't mean they know it. They're like, could this make money? Let's put it on for a couple hours, see if it does.
And it does. Because they continue
then
to
they
put it
need
on.
to embrace it.
And
And I
that's what I'm
think
saying.
having it in the Olympics helps. it helps expose it more.
But you said something. Your office has the Olympics on 24/7, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even if nobody's actively watching it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on in the break room.
Okay, so is there always people in the break room at all times?
It's typically rotated in and out. Like,
Okay.
You'll have people who go in there for break, or they'll be like, hey, pole vaulting is in 10 minutes, and it's a 2-minute event.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to watch that.
Exactly.
So I'll pop in.
You know the events you want to watch, and you go in and watch it.
Exactly. But
I know at work we'll have the Olympics on 24/7, pretty much.
and even if they don't intend to watch it, it's still on. It's not like you can go, I want to turn this off.
Yeah, but then you're going to get an exec going, yeah, people were just watching esports just because it was in the Olympics. It was on our back.
It's still there. Like,
You're the giant whose shoulders you stood on.
I get that, but think about it. Like, before a sport is seen as being big, it's like when they introduce a new sport into the Olympics, everybody's like, oh my gosh, if they were to add poker in the Olympics.
They thought about it.
But if they did, then people would be like, I guess I want to do that.
But then you're going to have...
almost legitimizes it.
You're almost going to have a problem if they introduce it with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Are they just going to be, oh, that was just because of Japan, esports are big there.
I don't think
it's
so.
going to be like, oh, we're going to go to so-and-so country and we're going to have that. That's their flavor of sport.
I think that it would be a worldwide thing. You have Japan, Korea, the Koreas. America has a pretty good team.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, hey, you mean that we can make more money and all we have to do is have computer setups or consoles? We're in.
Yeah.
It's a marketing opportunity.
I would just like to see its own individual entity.
I agree.
And that is, you are on the opposite side of the spectrum as I am.
Yes.
And that's where we're going to leave that argument.
Okay. So some gaming news. Other than that, the long-awaited Hive Swap is finally receiving an official release date.
When is that release date?
That is September 14th this year.
On Xbox? What is it?
It does not say.
Well, let's assume PC now.
Yeah, I'm absolutely assuming. September 14th marks the release of the first 4 Hive Swap acts. First 4. With the rest to be released sometime in the future, the game will be available on PC, Mac, and Linux for $7.99 on the Steam and Humble stores. I will be getting it and probably streaming through it.
Yes. Good. And we should say that is a Homestuck thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a launch trailer.
Nice.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Like, I was a fan of Homestuck when it first came out, and then when it ended, and the time between. And I'm excited for this game.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those games where you kind of forget that it was coming, and everybody kind of just went, probably not coming out.
Yeah.
But they had some trouble, then they moved it into an in-house, and they finished it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Less than 2 weeks away. 12 days.
Nice.
So, are you going to maybe play it, or are you just going to watch streaming?
I'm going to watch the stream, because I really don't have a computer.
That's right. That's right. You said something earlier. Shovel Knight, King of Cards, confirmed for 2018. They're releasing an amiibo 3-pack with Spectre Knight and Plague Knight.
And King Knight.
And King Knight. So I'm excited for that expansion pack.
I own it for my Switch, so...
Yeah, me too. So it's going to be...
Sam, like the Firefly MMO?
You what?
I'm not sure. Sam, you mentioned the Firefly MMO. I would really wish that... Oh! Games that are supposed to be coming out soon.
Yeah, the Firefly MMO, the Stargate MMO, the Battlestar Galactica MMO, the Farscape MMO. Oh my god, Siffy is really good at making MMOs and then never releasing them. So the King of Cards, I'm excited for it because I am a huge Shovel Knight fan.
Hey, yeah, I just thought about this. This could be an excuse to get the Firefly tabletop RPG and start that up. What do you think, Sam?
Hey. I'm okay.
I got Farscape and Battlestar Galactica.
Now all we need is a Eureka. Are you gonna play King of Cards?
I will. I've not beat any of the Shovel Knights campaign though.
I've beat the Shovel Knight campaign twice, Spectre Knight twice, and I believe Plague Knight twice.
Yeah,
I am a huge Shovel Knight fan. Yeah. Speaking of other games, MMOs. The Red Dead-like MMO Wild West Online enters closed alpha soon.
Huh.
Did you read that article I posted?
No.
Basically, you can get the Pioneer version of the game, which lets you get the full game once it's released, access to the closed beta when it goes live on September 15th, and access to the closed beta in the fall. It's like the collector's edition and everything. But you can basically decide if you want to be like a lawman, a gunslinger. There's world exploration, resource gathering, and treasure hunting, along with a PvP aspect. So maybe you can go catch rogues, and if there's somebody sticks up a bank, it basically puts a bounty on them, and then you can go be a bounty hunter.
As far as MMOs sound, that sounds fun.
Yeah, well, think about it. It's like GTA Online, but it's Red Dead in an MMO environment.
I think that could hurt them when Red Dead finally comes out.
I think it can only help them.
Help them?
Yeah, because are they planning on doing that big multiplayer environment for Red Dead?
Yes, I think so.
Because I hadn't heard any release information.
Because they had that kind of multiplayer on the original.
It wasn't open world like. It wasn't as big. I thought.
Is the entire game?
I thought it was just was the entire game online.
No,
or just like a multiplayer.
The entire world.
So what could you do in that world?
Hunt down people. It was a lot like GTA Online.
Okay. I think that if they have that, it'll be good. But I think this might be a little bit better. Because it's developed to be an MMO. I mean, like it's from the ground. It's not trying to be anything else. They're not doing any single player with it.
My only concern is MMOs have classes and things like that, and they give you skills. Like Final Fantasy has lots of skills.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What skills as gunslingers versus lawmen versus rogues could be so differential that it plays different?
I think more like law elements.
I mean, that's true, but like. What skills versus that's...
Well, actually, if you think about it, like, money could almost be a skill. If you think about it weird like this, if you're a lawman, maybe you get, like, a steady amount of money for the constabulary that you're part of, or whatever.
Right.
Your group. But if you're a bandit, you have infrequent money, but you have to get money by robbing.
Right.
So, like, you get massive amounts of gold, but you don't get it recurring.
I'd like to see this game being played, is what I'm saying.
I there's a chance I might try to look into it.
Right.
Because here's the thing. Ultimately, whether you're Red Dead Redemption or you're Wild West Online, there are not a lot of Wild West games.
No.
There are not a lot of Wild West movies. Magnificent Seven was one of the last ones that I can think of.
True Grit.
Magnificent Seven was the most recent.
Yes. But True Grit was a really good movie, too.
Agreed. But you're getting fewer and fewer.
Right.
So I think having that option... My thing is, like... Having options within the game market is always a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, someone may be playing Red Dead Redemption is like, oh, that other game looks cool, and it looks Wild West. I like the Wild West. What are they going to do with that? Boom.
I just think this game could do better if it was announced, like, 2-3 years ago, when Red Dead 2 wasn't on the radar.
I think that actually could be work for them, because it's like people are like, I want to play something now. They itch for that, so it's like, or they could play this game and then go, I want to see what Red Dead does. So it almost increases the market value of Wild West games.
So that's what I thought. You could, if they did it like 2 years ago,
no one wanted it.
Were already itching to play Red Dead.
It's
especially before Red Dead was backwards compatible on Xbox.
You don't on a weird level. You don't make a game that you're not sure that anybody wants, because the market didn't have Wild West games.
No, there's ever since like Red Dead ended, people wanted a second one.
Then why weren't more developers making them? That's the tricky part.
Because Call of Duty makes more money.
Okay, fair game. But it's like if you're making a game and the market doesn't have at least a couple Wild West games, are you going to go, I'm making a Wild West game? The market has none of them. There's it's that Twitch conundrum of, do you stream the game that's super popular and there are 400 people streaming it, so maybe you might get one, or do you play the game that's niche market that has one person streaming it, hoping for the niche market? It's like, there's that fine balance.
If you're like us, you get nothing.
Yeah, if you're like us, you just don't do it. You don't pull anything.
I'd say that I personally think this game would have done better. It would sound even cooler if it was a couple years ago.
Also, I mean, you admitted you didn't read the article, so I'm gonna have to call you out and say you don't really know about the game though either. So,
but I don't know. Having a Wild West game so close to a Wild West game, it seems like it could. Like, I played the original Red Dead.
I'm squinting at you because having an RPG game right next to an RPG game, what is the
But like you
world
said,
coming to?
Wild West games don't come out very often.
Exactly.
That's like having.
It's giving people choice.
I think the choice would have been better 2 years ago when people. I was wanting a Red Dead because remember Red Dead came out like 6 years ago.
True.
So if they split the difference and said, "Here's Red Dead as an MMO," because Red Dead had not been announced. It only was announced like 8 months ago.
Maybe it's an interesting conundrum with an MMO.
Right.
I feel like we're disagreeing a lot on this episode, but it's fine because it provides content. An MMO's life is typically decided within its first year. If your year one stats are not amazing, you're gonna have a rougher time. Look at
Final Fantasy 14, which original release sucked.
And then they were like, but there was a core fan, they redone it. They're like, okay, guys, it wasn't that there wasn't enough players, it just wasn't good.
But you're looking at a massive group like Square Enix.
Look at what is the other one I'm thinking about? Elder Scrolls Online.
Right.
When it first came out, very few people liked it. But it came about years later.
Problem?
Now it is coming back.
I'm seeing a problem. It's still Bethesda and it's still Elder Scrolls.
But but there's that first year of if you don't make your money in the first year as an indie developer, it's gonna be a struggle because you have to pay to keep the servers on.
Yeah.
So with this game, it's coming. If it comes out right before Red Dead, you get everybody who's like, I want to play a Wild West game to get ready for Red Dead right now, and boom, I'll pay money to play it. I'll pay $60 to buy the game.
All right.
And so you make your money right then, and then hopefully you get some people that stick around.
Let me throw a hypothetical situation to you.
Okay.
3-4 months ago,
Okay.
or let's say a year ago,
Okay.
after Destiny 2 was announced, someone created an almost Destiny clone and said, "Oh, you can play online. It's going to cost you $60, but it's a clone of Destiny without the name Destiny." Would you buy it, knowing Destiny is coming out, and knowing that?
I think I think maybe it would work better if you said Halo and then it owned a Halo MMO because Destiny is an MMO already.
But I'm saying like it's still a game, and it's clone of the game coming out
as a solid MMO. If you using the example of Halo, yes, absolutely.
So like
an
Tribes.
MMO.
Do you remember Tribes?
Very vaguely.
Yes, because it was a clone of almost like a clone of Halo. Before we were able to get Halo because it was on Xbox and PC.
That was a team battler game, like a deathmatch.
Yes,
It wasn't an MMO.
Right, but here's the thing.
I think the fact that it's inherently an MMO, it makes it better.
Yeah.
Because you're able to build that community. Whereas with the deathmatch game, it's like, well, I'm constantly opposing someone. Whereas
there's still groups.
I get it, but I'm just like, I'm okay with this. Like, I'm actually really excited by this. I'm excited about Red Dead, but on the same level of, I'm also kind of on the fence about it because I didn't play the original Red Dead.
See, and I'm the only one who played Red Dead.
Right. So I'm okay with it, but to say maybe it would be better, well, it hasn't come. To say that, I feel like it's disingenuous.
Right.
Because it hasn't come out yet.
Right.
So you don't know if it's going to do bad yet.
Fair enough.
To say it would do better if it's then, well, it's like saying, like, you have dinner and then you get an appetizer, and you're like, well, this appetizer would have been better a couple hours ago. And it's like,
yeah, because I was hungry then.
it's like, but I mean, there's no context for this appetizer then.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think market-wise, more options actually ends up being better for the whole genre. Because if this game, Wild West Online, had come out years ago, people played it and they hated it, it could have possibly tainted the opinion of Wild West games, and so Red Dead wouldn't be able to come out.
That's Red Dead. Through Rockstar.
Right, but you would have people driving away from it, and they'd be like, well, I mean, this is our IP, and people loved it, but that was a Wild West game, and people hated the genre.
Right.
They hated the idea of the game.
Right.
So why would we want to? We could just make more GTA items and make more money.
Because Red Dead through Rockstar.
I agree. But
All right, let's move on. You're wrong too much this episode.
Nice. Well, I had an article about Brock and Misty returning, but we already talked about that, didn't we?
We did.
Mattel Station ends anime block after 4 decades.
Huh.
You say that, but it was the one. The first programs ran the block from 1977s was Zambot, and then the original Mobile Suit Gundam was the block's 3rd title.
Okay, I was like, go on.
And although the show had low ratings, the tie-in plastic models and theatrical releases was a success. The network would continue to air robot and toy and game-based shows, including the Brave series, B Daman, Dinosaur King, and Battle Spirits.
Okay.
And they've been doing Kamen Rider X Aid.
Okay, start with that.
And
like
Kamen Rider Build. One of the weirdest reasons why. Asahi Shimbun cited lower birth rates as a reason for the decreased ratings that led to the block's cancellation. I'm sorry, you are not having enough babies for us to continue to air this television series, block.
Nice.
Okay, but I want to actually talk about something that it's related, but it's more like this provides counterbalance.
Okay.
Mattel Station ends anime block after 4 decades. We can't keep Toonami for 10 years.
Yeah.
Because didn't Toonami close down again?
No, it's still up, I think.
I feel like it's just not as popular. It's got a few popular things, but
That's because during the closure, we had things like Crunchyroll.
do you think that's part of the reason?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Plus, I mean, the dawn of internet streaming, people cancel their cable,
True.
and they don't watch Toonami.
So it's like Toonami leaves and then Toonami comes back, and I'm like, yes, Toonami's coming back. Have you watched any of it? Not a minute, because I don't have cable.
Yeah.
But I was like, 4 decades old.
Yeah.
That is a long time for an anime for an anime block.
Right.
Think about that. For an anime block.
Yeah, I agree.
Sci-fi sci-fi back then had Anna Monday. I think that lasted for a year.
Oh, yeah, about that.
You don't see that on the Sci-Fi Channel anymore.
Yep, Sam agrees. Crunchyroll killed it.
What was that song? Television killed the radio star.
Yep.
So in America we couldn't keep Anna Monday. One day, several hours. And this was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
They started playing anime in the 70s.
I mean, I think the thing is, like...
And granted, it was in Japan, so it's the birthplace of traditional anime. But it's like, you had anime in the 70s. A lot of people, like, they'll say, oh, those were cartoons. Gundam was a cartoon. It wasn't until, I feel like relatively recently, that people was like, oh yeah, that's an anime. Robotech, it was an anime. Voltron, it was
used
an
to be
anime.
called the Japanimation.
No, it did not.
Japanime.
No, it did not.
What did they used to be called?
I think it was like a cartoon.
No, I thought it was... I think we used to call it Japanimation. It was an animation that came from Japan.
Yeah, true. So
And
it's
then it
like,
became anime.
so it's like, but people don't. People go, well, anime only recently came around. No, but hang on.
Quick, well, Derrick sneezing. I was right about it.
No, he was wrong. Oh, I don't think any of us were right. I think we provide interesting counterbalanced conversation. Even still, though, like, people, only anime fans see how far back anime started.
Yeah, and only gamers will watch the Gaming Olympics.
Well, but otherwise, people associate when anime started as to when they
noticed
the
it.
earliest anime they've watched.
Yeah.
So, someone like my wife watches something and she goes, "Oh, anime started with Naruto." Then I show her Robotech and she goes, "Oh." I mean, this is not true. This is not my wife's words, but I'm using that as an example. So my wife does not watch as much anime, nearly as much as anime as I do.
Right.
But then if I show her Robotech and go, "Yeah, this is an anime," then that changes. Well, anime must have started when Robotech started.
Yeah.
Because unless you are an anime fan, you're not going to look at it and go, "When did anime really start?"
Yeah.
So, I don't know. 4 decades is a long time for a television network to go, "This is our anime block."
Agreed.
Right there. I don't know. I found it interesting. And counterpart, you said Crunchyroll, and Sam agreed. Crunchyroll killed the television star, but how about the fact that it's planning to dub anime into foreign languages now?
Good for them.
That doesn't sound like it's big, but now they're talking about doing Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, German, and French dubs in the future.
Good.
I'm excited for it.
Yes. The point of the 2 headlines were to give us 2 things to talk about, and the rest was supposed to be like bullet points. You do know that, right? You do know that, right?
I did not quite realize that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this.
Yes.
So I think we can leave it there. Several languages. I think they're opening it up to the world.
The world does not revolve around English.
Well, it's right now up until then. It's been like, hey, you have maybe Spanish, maybe you've got English and Japanese. If you don't like those languages, tough.
Yeah.
So to wrap that up, if you don't like those languages, tough. But Crunchyroll's like, no more. Okay. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon pick of the week. You had Nurses Who Kill?
Yes.
Okay, explain.
They are nurses who kill.
Thanks, John Madden. Next up on our ESPN block.
It's a Netflix show about nurses who have killed people and almost got away with it.
Okay, so it is like a murder thing.
Yeah, it's like an investigation drama.
Okay, I was like, are you talking about like nurses who partake in the criminalized and controversial act of euthanasia, or
No.
are you talking about they take some scissors and?
No, talking about like giving people insulin and causing their blood sugar to drop out, and so like their body just stops functioning, or potassium, or air embolisms, and it's great.
Scary, right?
Especially because I work around nurses.
Yeah,
It's like, you could probably kill.
you can kill.
I've seen you mildly irritated. I don't want to see you mad.
Right. I had Stan Against Evil.
Right?
Have you seen? Oh, you watched one episode of that show.
Yes.
It is so delightfully like low budget, but at the same time, it's like it's almost like they nod and go, "We have the budget. We just choose not to use it all the time."
Yeah.
We totally got a guy in a rubber suit to play this monster.
Nice.
It's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
But it's like all the characters are funny. There's
Right.
not a pointless character. Like Stan is the begrudging dad. The new sheriff is like the one who's like, "I can't believe you're not worried that someone's trying to murder you." And then there's the daughter who's like I want to say like she's the Ron Weasley of the group, kind of like the dundering idiot.
Right?
But at the same time, it's also like she's kind of a cool character.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really good show. I watched it a couple weeks ago now,
Right.
and started watching it on Hulu. It's really good.
Nice.
Game releases besides Destiny 2.
Right.
There was Eglia, Legend of the Red Cap, iPhone, Android, released a couple days ago. I don't always like have Android games on there.
Have you played this one?
I have not yet. But like you have to find things in eggs, like you hatch worlds.
Nice.
So I was like, that looks really cool. And besides Destiny 2, there was like Life is Strange.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
No one.
I know. Nick's been playing that.
Yeah, but I was like, I want something different because like Destiny 2, I mean, you can't really compete against Destiny 2.
No.
I don't think it would be smart. I don't think it would be a good market choice.
No.
To offer more choices beyond Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Jab. All right, let's move into social stuff. If you want to look us up, you can talk. You can find us at our website, gamingandchillpodcast.com.
Yep.
At Twitter at gaming_in_chill.
Note about the Twitter. This week until Destiny 2 comes out, I have a poll running. We want to know what class you're playing.
Yes, I am playing Titan. I voted as such.
Yes.
I see a couple other votes on there as well.
Nice.
Instagram, Gaming and Chill Podcast. Gonna be doing some Destiny stuff, huh?
Yep.
And then Facebook is facebook.com/gaming and chill podcast, and our Reddit is reddit.com/r/gaming and chill.
Nice.
If you have any questions, you can use the hashtag at Gaming and Chill Podcast, or you can drop it by in the Facebook live stream. And we have shirts on sale actually now.
Nice.
Well, we have for a little while. And we're going to be putting some new merch up there soon-ish, maybe in a couple months. But it's cafepress.com/gaming and chill. You can buy some pretty cool shirts that we both designed.
Yes.
So I think it's going to move us into the post show. Anything before we end the main show?
No, not really.
As much as we argue on occasion, we still love each other.
Yeah, it's really good that we kind of have two different points on
It's not like, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying.
Exactly.
This is a boring podcast. Everybody's favorite moment in the Rooster Teeth podcast is when Bernie yells at Gavin and gets angry about it.
Exactly.
About the traffic.
Yes.
So, okay, let's move into the post show.